It is Thursday morning, and it's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. We're going to do an update on today's severe weather risk, which once we get this out of the way, things will improve in a big hurry for Friday and the weekend. But we've got to get through a pretty interesting setup for today. Of course, it is just stifling outside yet again this morning, and the heat and humidity, of course, will be key ingredients for possible thunderstorm formation this afternoon. Across the region this morning, the weather is quiet. It's going to stay that way. We do have some showers and some storms, though, up over Michigan. These will kind of collapse over the next couple of hours. It'll be interesting to see what kind of what we call outflow boundaries these leave. So some rain-cooled air coming out of these dying showers and storms may serve as little mini cool fronts ahead of the main cold fronts later on today. And those little mini cool fronts, we call them outflow boundaries. They can be just enough to initiate a scattering of showers and storms, perhaps earlier in the day than some of our models have. The models may not handle this kind of collapsing line of showers and storms all that well. So bottom line is, yeah, things could get going early in the afternoon, even though a lot of our modeling would suggest that it'll be more of a mid-afternoon thing. So yeah, it's really muggy out there this morning. Dew points, if you step outside this morning, again, it's like a sauna. Dew points are in the lower 70s throughout Ohio and western PA. Looking off to the north and west, though, this is where the drier air is, and this is what's coming our way in about 24 hours, and especially we'll notice by the weekend the dramatic change in the air mass across the valley. All right, with the mid-morning update from the Storm Prediction Center, no real big changes here for the outlooks. This area in west central and central PA is in the enhanced risk, a level 3 on a 1 to 5 scale. That enhanced risk covers a lot of the Keystone states, a lot of eastern Ohio in the level 2 risk. Now, let's not split hairs too much between the two. We think overall the most frequent severe weather, the highest risks for a lot of severe weather will be the deeper you get into Pennsylvania today. The risk is elevated throughout our television viewing area and really throughout the entire region as we get into the early to mid-afternoon hours today. And then the severe weather risk will diminish pretty quickly as we head towards evening. I am concerned about some pretty decent hailstones with some of these storms. Again, especially in PA, but even in our eastern Ohio counties. Here's a look at one kind of set of model information showing the chances of significant hail across the region. And this kind of hatched area, there we go. This kind of hatched area, kind of the brown color, this is where the risk of significant big hail is highest, but you'll notice that this black line extends into eastern Ohio. I'm not going to be able to rule out some pretty decent hail if some of these storms, especially if they stay kind of what we call discrete. In other words, they don't form a bow, but they're more individual cells. That will increase the chances for hail and tornadic activity. But this could be more than just the usual conversational hail. Usually in our region, in thunderstorms in the summer, we get little pea-size hail, maybe up to penny size, even quarter size sometimes. But worst case scenario, if everything comes together just right, we could have hail in some of these storms the size of golf balls at least as we go through the mid-afternoon today. The tornado risk, it's on the low side, but it is far from zero. And here's a look at the kind of the significant tornado parameter during the height of our activity this afternoon and into early this evening. You'll notice again where the levels are highest in central PA, but we also have kind of a maxima forecast across eastern Ohio when we look at this parameter. Any storm that gets going this afternoon will have the potential to spin some. Now, the wind shear in the lower levels of the atmosphere is not through the roof, but it's enough, especially in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, it's enough that if storms stay kind of discrete instead of forming a kind of a line, that will, perhaps be enough for, isolated tornadoes to form. One thing we can look at is what we call Updraft Helicity. Let me get a better look at this map. This is kind of a combination of instability and potential spin in the atmosphere. You'll notice the most concentrated areas are indeed out here in Pennsylvania, but even in eastern Ohio, any of these storms are going to try to rotate some if conditions come together just right. Even though the overall highest odds of tornadic activity and large hail may be east of I-79 in Pennsylvania, we've got to keep our guard up throughout the region. Again, as far as the timing goes, the clock times are over on the other side of the screen. This is 1 o'clock this afternoon. We may be seeing storms initialize around this point. Combination of outflow boundaries from that dying line up over Michigan, a little bit of a lake breeze off of Lake Erie, and of course, in the larger scale, in the larger scheme of things, we have an approaching cold front. Things may be starting to initialize as early as about 1 o'clock up near I-90 in Northeast Ohio, Northwest PA. And then I'm expecting things to kind of grow from there as we get into mid-afternoon. This is 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, this is just one model, but I think it has a decent handle on, the timing and coverage. This model would suggest we have more of a line instead of kind of discrete storms by mid-afternoon. That would be good news from a hail and isolated tornado standpoint, but it would also increase the risk of a lot of damaging wind gusts with any of this activity. Also, some good news with our storms this afternoon in that they're not going to last long in any one location. You'll be pretty much out of the woods, I think, by 3 or 4 o'clock if you're in northern Trumbull County, northwestern Mercer. It may take until 5 o'clock or so for these to clear southern Columbiana County, southeastern Lawrence, southeastern Mercer. But the farther north you are, the faster this is out of here. And in our viewing area as a whole, this severe weather risk window is just a couple of hours. But it could be a pretty bumpy, pretty busy couple of hours this afternoon. So things you can do to prepare for a potentially bumpy afternoon. Again, with the chance of some decent hailstones, if your car is parked outside, but you have the option of putting it under a carport or bringing it into the garage, that would be a good idea to protect it from the potential for large hail. Have your safe place ready to go in case we have tornado warnings or even high-end severe thunderstorm warnings. Hopefully by now you've kind of practiced your plan, whether you're at home or at work, what you would do in the case of a tornado warning or a high-end severe thunderstorm warning. And that safe place should be stocked up with all the good stuff, all the batteries, the flashlights. We always encourage people to have some sort of helmet in their safe place. If you've got an interior closet or a bathroom or wherever your safe place is, bicycle helmet, baseball helmet, anything to protect your head. Give yourself a little extra protection is something we always recommend. We don't expect widespread power outages, unlike our storms from a couple of nights ago, and people are still dealing with power problems in parts of central and east central Ohio. I doubt we'll have as widespread of an issue across our region this afternoon, but in some places the power may go out. So be prepared for that. Make sure your devices are charged up, and we'll keep you safe. We'll have streaming coverage, no doubt, for a while this afternoon on all our social media outlets, including my YouTube channel and on wfmj.com/weather and the Storm Tracker 21 app. So we will see you this afternoon for more continuing coverage, and I'll have more updates on social media, of course, throughout the day, and a recap this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11. We'll see you then.